everyone, as you can see, I am Rianna and you might have seen my covers, but today I'm not singing. I'm actually going to talk about something that my friends asked me to talk about and to upload into YouTube, and it's a fairly obscure topic. It is how to find out if a boy likes you, and I have done some research and I have found a few suggestions. Some of them are my own, some of them that are my friends. So first I'll go over four main pointers that you need to know. So, if this is by text or in person, the boy will always talk to you. Now, if you find yourself always starting a conversation with a boy, that might be a sign that they're not generally that interested in you. However, if they are always texting you or BBMing you or WhatsApping you or whatever new technology there is these days, then that's generally a good sign that they are interested in you, and you should definitely not ignore this. Now, the second point, I think people often forget, but it's that they give lots of secrets away. Now, a secret is something that most people keep to themselves, maybe something that's embarrassing about themselves or something they don't want to tell to other people because it's very personal. And if you find a boy, especially, telling you these things, that is like a sign that they trust you and that in the future they can always trust you, and that your relationship with them is solid enough that they can tell you things and they know you won't go and spread it. And often secrets are shared between best friends. So if you're sharing secrets with a boy, it's like you're at that level already with them, and it may even progress into something more than that. So the next one is pretty obvious, but they want to go on a date with you. If they say, oh, let's go out with all my other friends and you can bring your friends too, that is a bit less intimate. So it could be a sign that they want to break off from the group and just you two hang out, or it could be a sign that they just generally just want to hang out with everyone. However, if they make a point of saying it's just you and him, that is a really good sign, because that's obviously just describing a date. Even if they don't call it that, you can say it's one. And of course, dates often lead to relationships, so that's a good sign. And now the last one, I think a lot of people also forget, and it's that they put you first. So say if you have a really important exam, and so do they, but they make a point of ringing you up and saying good luck and don't be nervous, or they text you and say that. That shows that they're thinking of you before they're thinking of themselves. Another example could be that they have a really important meeting or something, and you have a really important concert or recital, and you want them to come along. And they cancel whatever they have so that they can go to what you have, so that they can appreciate what you do. That just shows that they're really committed to you and that they're willing to put off what they have for you, which is obviously a sign that they're putting you first and generally means that they like you. So here are a bit more general stuff that you often find at parties or when you're first meeting a guy. So this first one is called gravitating towards you. So if you're at a party, standing around with your friends, laughing, joking, and you catch a guy from the other corner of the room, and he slowly but surely seems to weave his way around other people so that he's 1 or 2 meters away from you. If you notice that, now it could be that he has a friend standing next to you, or it could be that he's finding ways to walk towards you. So maybe he can introduce himself, or maybe he can just be close to you. And although people often don't notice this, if you look out for it, it is a really good sign that they are genuinely interested in you. So the second one is that they look at you. Now this is if they're from across the room, so this is in general not if they're up close. And if you catch them, looking at you or giving you the eye or anything, then that's also a good sign, and you shouldn't ignore it and just look away, but acknowledge that they've looked at you. Now some people call the look what boys do, and it's kind of like a nod kind of thing, and if they do that to you, that's another way of saying hello and that they've noticed you. Third one is called mirroring. It's a bit weird, but it's meant to work. So if you say are talking to a guy and you like scratch your head, he may 2 seconds later scratch his head. If you're swinging your leg when you're sitting down, he will, you guessed it, swing his leg as well. Often people don't really notice this, but it's a sign that he's generally engaged in what you're doing so much that he's doing the same thing as you. And it's completely natural. It's not something that he'll put on, and it's definitely not like him trying to copy you for a joke. It's nothing like that. It just happens naturally. So look out for that. And oh yeah, if it's in a text, he might do it as well. So like if you use a certain phrase like geez or wow or oh my g OMG or whatever, he might write OMG or geez in some of his comments to like mirror what you said. He won't do it on purpose, but it will show that he's paying attention to what you said and he's catched on. He's caught on. So it's a good sign. Okay, the next one is offers extra info. So if I say hi to a guy, what's your name? And he says, I'm Mike, and I go to such and such school. What school do you go to? There is an example of extra information because he hasn't just said his name is Mike, but he's told you that he goes to such and such school. And in doing so, he's trying to keep the conversation going and trying to lead on to ask you, what school do you go to? So you're not always having to do all the work. And he's putting in a bit of the work too. And that's a really good sign. If you notice that, do not ignore it. It might be like small things, but it shows that he's genuinely interested in you and he's interested in the conversation. So the next one is tactile with you. So some guys just do this anyway because they like to be tactile, but others won't always, and if they do, then that means that they like you. So if they hug you or are constantly patting you or tapping you or brushing their shoulders against you or anything like that, and they're trying to do it a lot, then that shows that they're flirting and that they are genuinely interested in you. But like I said, if you aren't comfortable with them doing that, just make it well known. Obviously, you don't want to be uncomfortable, but if you do, then that's just a good sign that they're flirting with you. And then the next one is that when you're talking to someone in a conversation, a boy, they will like give you eye contact. So they won't be glancing at some other girl or looking ahead or looking at their phone when they're talking to you, but they'll be generally interested in what you have to say. And they'll give you face-to-face eye contact throughout the whole conversation. And that's just a sign that they are engaged in what you're saying and they want to learn more about you. The next one is they stare at you. So this is again from across the room, but if you notice them like their eyes are fixed on you or like they follow you, like if you're walking and their eyes kind of follow you around the room, don't ignore it. Again, it's a good sign. It's a sign that they've noticed you and that they want you maybe to notice them. And it's nothing to be shy about. If that's a really good sign, you should acknowledge it. And there you go. That's a pretty easy one, and most people get that, but there you go. And then, okay, the last one I have, yes, it's the last one, sadly, but it's that they repeat your name. Now, I got this from a YouTube video, and I don't know if this is actually true, but apparently if someone says your name loads and loads and loads of times in a sentence, like, I don't know if this is on purpose or not, then it means that they really like you. And I've never actually experienced this myself, but if you have, please tell me below on your comments. And I think that is it. No, the last one is if you're quite good friends with them, they will maybe find ways to tease you or make fun of you, but it'll be like light-hearted things. So if you notice that, then that's a sign that they are generally interested in you. So that is all I have today, and hopefully all of those things you have noticed in someone, and that probably means that they like you. And I hope that it's not a case of them just pretending to like you or just because they're friends with you being like that. I really hope that it's a genuine interest. And if you've noticed any of these things in a guy and you think they might like you, please post your comments below and say that my tips are right. If they're wrong, again, I'd like to hear your feedback and your comments. But nothing too rude. And thank you for listening.